What would you take if you only had a few hours to deal with the prospect of never again returning to your home? What would you take? How would you decide? And have you even thought about the essentials? How will you and your family survive the next several days? Hotels may be booked. You'll need water, food, tools and supplies, clothing and bedding. Will there ever be enough time to gather everything? The answer is no. There's never enough time in the face of impending disaster. You have to plan ahead. Think about the personal effects you'd take with you in the event of a hurricane. Make a list and keep that list somewhere special. Save your memories in a place that could save your life. When the time comes to evacuate, there may actually be no time at all. Instinctively, many of us think about using what moments we have to try to save our memories. If you've never before experienced the reality and the fear of a hurricane, you don't know the urgency of trying to save your life. Preparing ahead of time is the only way. I'm Maury Povich. In the next several minutes, we'll show you how to do just that. First, a word about hurricanes. The circular storms originate either in the Atlantic or Pacific Oceans, the Caribbean Sea, or the Gulf of Mexico. As the windstorm begins to exceed 74 miles per hour, it is officially declared a hurricane, and by now is traveling either due north, northwest, or northeast from its point of origin. Over a recent 9-year stretch, 51 hurricanes blazed trails of destruction throughout the world. That's an average of just over 5.5 every year, with no signs of letting up. Particularly vulnerable are the Pacific Islands and the East and Gulf Coast states of our country. Because weather is not an exact science, even the most skilled meteorologists can't predict the next big one. In fact, you'll only receive as much as a 24-hour warning before landfall. As the nation's foremost private volunteer disaster services organization, the American Red Cross has witnessed firsthand the power and the devastation of hurricanes. And every year, lives continue to be lost, property destroyed, mostly because of a lack of knowledge about early preparation. In an attempt to prevent and relieve human suffering and to help people prepare for, avoid, and respond to disasters, the American Red Cross is proud to sponsor this program.
What a beautiful morning it is out there. Although I have to tell you, especially folks along the coast, a little concerned about something in the Atlantic right now. National Weather Service has just upgraded this tropical depression to a tropical storm. Winds right now are 40 to 45 miles per hour. It could be increasing in the next couple of days, although it could fizzle. We could have our first hurricane of the season on our hands as it draws closer to the U.S. mainland, but we will certainly keep you posted on this in the next day or so and tell you any change in strength of the storm. Don't worry about it right now.
Now, son, there's nothing to worry about. It's only a tropical storm, and it's thousands of miles away.
Mommy, will it be a hurricane?
Oh, sweetie, you heard your father. We don't know anything yet. Now, you both know we've talked about this before.
That's right. You guys know the drill. We'll watch the weather closely for the next day or so, and if the storm becomes a hurricane, then we'll put our plan into motion, just like we rehearsed. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, come on, or we're all going to be late.
Hurricane season begins June 1st and lasts through November 30th. That leaves 6 months out of the year for you and your family to have already prepared. Once you've done it the first time, you only need to restock your disaster supplies kit and review the plan every year. First of all, learn and understand the risks of your area and how they relate to evacuation. Call your local emergency management office or your local Red Cross chapter to find out your evacuation route. Don't rely on posted signs. Practice driving the route until you become comfortable with it, and always plan an option in case your primary route is blocked or gridlocked. Before hurricane season, familiarize yourself with the lingo. Know the difference between a watch and a warning. A watch means the National Weather Service has declared that conditions are favorable for a hurricane to hit or in some way affect your area. A warning means the storm is definitely headed your way. You may need to evacuate. The important thing is to have a well thought out and practical family disaster plan you can easily put into action when the time comes.
Well, we've been keeping an eye on that tropical storm in the South Atlantic, and the storm has now been upgraded to a hurricane. Winds are now 80 miles per hour. It's difficult to predict any certain path, but it is moving toward the north and northwest relatively fast, about 15 miles per hour. So keep an eye on local forecasts, especially if you live here along the coast. You should probably check your supplies and think about precautions, too.
When's the last time we checked the supplies in the kit?
Probably not since last winter. We better check it out. I'm sure the water needs to be replaced.
Yeah, well, I've got some time this morning before I gotta be at the office. I'll go through it. I think I'll call Mom, too.
Tell her to clean up the extra room. She may be getting some company for a while.
Well, let's not get carried away. We don't know what this thing's gonna do yet.
Dad, we're ready.
Go. Call me later. I'll try to keep the radio on all day.
All right, I'll see you tonight. Bye, kids. Have a nice day at school.
The disaster supplies kit is the cornerstone of all your preparation efforts. In it, you should stock enough supplies to last a minimum of 3 days. There are 6 basics to include in the kit: water, food, first aid, clothing and bedding, tools and supplies, and special items. Your water supply should be stored on top of the kit and should be changed every 6 months. Each person in your household needs a gallon per day for at least 3 days, 2 quarts for drinking and 2 for food preparation and sanitation. Include at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. The selection should require no refrigeration, cooking, or other preparation. Choose compact, lightweight items that come in sealed packages or cans. Good choices are canned meats like tuna fish, beef stew, Vienna sausage, and low-salt ham. Canned juices, fruits, and soups. High-energy foods like peanut butter and jelly. Crackers, granola, trail mix. Also include special supplies like cutlery, aluminum foil, a can opener, even a can of Sterno. You should have at least 2 first aid kits, 1 for your disaster supplies kit and 1 for your car. Here's a quick checklist for assembling a first aid kit.